Hi everyone, this is Maris from Maris Art. Today I'm going to show you how to sew your signatures into this that then fits these flaps, then fit inside your covers, and I'll show you that in another video. Excuse me. So these are the things that you'll need, your signatures of course. Some of these bulldog clips to hold the pages together when you're sewing it, a ruler, and this one's a Tim Holtz ruler, which I love. You can measure things from this zero here. You can actually get things really in line with each other. You'll need an awl, and this thread I'm using for this journal because it's suitable, because this is for my granddaughter Christmas present. She went to Vietnam and these are all her photos from Vietnam in here. You need a little pair of scissors. I've got these tiny ones, of course, I've got a big pair there. You'll need glue. I like this one, this tacky glue. You'll also need some of these, probably this wide one I'll use. They're double-sided tapes. So, put some of this aside. Oh, and you'll need a needle with a big eye in it as well. So first of all, you need to measure not that yet. You need to measure this. When you make your, this is made out of cardstock, so it's quite thick. See how the edges are all uneven? If you want them even, then what you do is you put your put them all together and then cut it even before you decorate it. Because once you've decorated it, you can't cut it, because if you cut this one in the middle here, you'd have to cut quite a bit off that one. And see, I've got these things in from her photos. So it would cut it right back here by his arm. So remember, if you want the edges even, do it before you decorate. I don't mind it like that. I think it gives it a bit of character when you look at it. So I'm quite happy with that. This one's got 3 signatures. What you need to do is work out if your signatures have an order. These do. So I know that this is the first one. I know that this is the second one, but it looked very much like the third one. So I've actually just put a piece of paper in there that tells me that's number 3, so I don't put it in the middle, because it's in the order of where she went to places in Vietnam. So to get this measurement across here, right, what I did was stood them up. If you put them too close, they go to a crocodile mouth like that. I don't like that look in a book. I like it, the cover to fit beautifully like that, so that if you imagine the cover on this piece of paper here, it will be straight and a nice fit. All right. So what I do is I hold them loosely together like that, and then I put a ruler here, and I look at it and go, oh, they need to be about ½ inch apart. All right. So then you allow ½ inch each side, because you want it to sit nicely. Okay, so they're ½ inch apart and ½ inch each side. I've written the measurements down here for you, so you can actually, I'll just make sure that's in view for you. You can stop the video now and have a look at the measurements and write them down, or you can photograph it or whatever you need to do, or look at the time and come back to it. So I've got 2½ inches here and 2½ inches here. They're the flaps that go into the cover. This is the fold line, and a fold line here, and then these are the actual lines where you're going to sew your signatures. So there's a signature there, there's a signature there, and a signature there, and then that's extra ½ inch and an extra ½ inch each side. And then these are the holes. I'm going to do a three hole binding on it. I find that that's quite enough. So this across here is to fit my book. So your measurement across here might be different. The measurement here won't be, but this measurement here is the height of your book page. Right? So mine is different to yours. So that's just the height of the book page. So there you go. That's it. Right. So then what I did was, this is a scrap piece because I did the lines the wrong way. So what I did was I folded it. I did it in my, I don't know what it's called, this board thing here, where you can score, oh, it's a scoreboard of course, where you can score it down. If you haven't got a scoreboard, then what you can do is do it with a ruler and maybe the back of a knife or something, and then it folds it, it makes it a nice fold, right? And it stops the paper cracking when you try and fold it. And then on this one, what I've done just to show you, I've drawn in the lines at 1/2 inch, and remember this is another little 1/2 inch gap here. And then what I did was, with my handy dandy Tim Holtz ruler, I found the middle of that line. If you see at the end, it's just 4.5 inches each side. I marked it, and then I marked it 2.5 that way and 2.5 that way. Right? And put another hole. And then did the same over here and the same over here. So they're the holes that later on you'll be going through with your awl. Okay? So that's just a sketchy one, because I didn't want this inside my book because it would show. Right? So here's the one that I've made for inside my book. You can see there's just little dots there where well, I made a hole so you could see it a bit better. There's little dots there where I'm going to go through when I put this up against it. To sew it through, I've got a mark there to go on that instead of just guessing it. Okay. So with this, what I've done is on the back of it, I've strengthened it with Tyvek. Tyvek, these are Tyvek envelopes that I get. I had, because I'm in Australia, I had to get them in because they only seem to have them in America. Again, what I did was when I glued it, when the glue was still wet, I scored it on the scoreboard so that it would fold nicely, because it's very, very tough stuff. You just can't rip it. And so I did it with the glue wet. Right? I've put it a little bit down. It only needs to be where the holes are. See, that's where the holes start. And down here it's the same. I don't want it showing at the top of the book through the, when you look down on the back of it. So I've moved it down a little bit. If it does show, I'll just put a piece of paper over there and cover it up. Right? When you cut these bits off the Tyvek envelope, I save them because these make great things if you want to do a wraparound band. You can cover it with paper and it'll really, or fabric if you want to, and you can put those magnets on it to actually make a closure for your book, and they're really, really strong. So I save all those little flaps and things. So here's a book that I've done with a single signature for you to have a look at. So the single signatures, again, I could have just folded this in half, but I don't like that look. I like to have a little back on it. And this is what we're going to do, the stitching that we're going to do. And you see it's quite neat with just 3 holes. This one's sewn together with ribbons. And then this one here, ooh, massive one. This has got, because these are so fat, these signatures, this has actually got a bigger space here. I think it's nearly an inch or something. You can see it's a lot bigger than ½ an inch. So I got it again by holding them together and putting a ruler there and going, oh yeah, that's the way I want it to be, because I didn't want it to be a crocodile mouth. So it made the spine really big. And you can see that here I didn't like the white page that I'd done it on, so I covered it with ribbon on the inside, so that when you open the book on the inside, oops, when you open the book on the inside, if I can get it, it's got that lovely ribbon in between, so that it looks nice. But this is my Jane journal. It is on a video on my YouTube site if you want to have a look at it. There's part 1 and part 2 because it's so big, but it's gorgeous. And I'll show you how I've done this. This actually comes off so that you can lay it flat to journal in, because it actually is a journal. All right, I'll just pop this over here. So the next stage is I use an old phone book for this, because when you're jabbing things through, you don't want to jab it through into your fingers. And I've also made a little guide, right? So the guide is the height of the pages, the height of your page, whatever that is for you. So that I can't tell you your height, right? And it matches, I'll show you on this one so you can see it. It matches these. So what I did was I folded it this way, laid it there, marked them, right? But then when you open it, you can't see the marks. So then I've put the marks on this side, folded it back this way, right? So this is my guide for doing the books. I think I'll just have to go to part 2.